I'm in my car. It's raining like crazy outside. It's pretty cold, kind of chilly. And I don't really have anything specific to talk about, except I do want to put out there for everyone about the plasma, the water that will help to keep you hydrated and detoxing and um, taking care of yourself that way, because everybody needs to be detoxing. Or they're, I don't think they have a chance. Most people are, not most, I would say almost every person is an addict, including myself, to food. You know, whether it's the sugar or the wheat or the whatever. But mainly what I want to say is about the water, is trying to get in enough water throughout the day to keep you hydrated at the cellular level. And this is like duplicating seawater that you get from the ocean. And it has all the minerals you need, so you don't have to be wasting your money buying all these supplements that aren't even what they say they are. And then they're putting them in these crappy, toxic capsules now. I don't trust anything in those supplement places. I never shop at even health food stores. They don't. A lot of their stuff is not healthy, and yet it's called a health food store. So anyway, what you do is you just take a liter bottle or quart and put 1/2. Let me see. I'll get my thing. 1/2 to 1 teaspoon. I put like a whole teaspoon in because I like it really salty. And once you start drinking it like that, it's almost like drinking broth. I accidentally one take grinded pepper in it because I was at the time grinding salt, and I grabbed the wrong grinder and I put pepper in it. And it tasted so good. It tasted like I was having soup. So anyway, I have my little jar of, I keep filling this jar. I have actually a big bucket that I have. I'm in my car, if you don't know. And I have, because it's really raining and just so wet and cold out. So there's nowhere I can really go sit or anything. It's just too wet. So anyway, I have in the back, I have a big bucket. It's like at least 25 pounds. I don't know. It might be more than that. But anyway, and then I keep filling up my little thing. And then I just take a couple of scoops and put it in my water and then drink this throughout the day. Now, I think the recommended amount is like 2 to 3 liters a day, or quarts. And it's even hard for me to get that much in, but I drink a lot of liquids. I start off my day, I was doing kombucha, but I got to make some more, so I'm not really doing that right now. And then I have my lemonade drink with a little bit of maple syrup, and I used to put cayenne in it, but I kind of quit doing all the peppers and stuff like that because they're nightshades, along with the potatoes and the eggplant and all the peppers and stuff that I love are in the nightshade family. I could care less about eggplant, but I like peppers a lot. So, and my diet's getting more and more limited all the time. So anyway, if you can drink as much as you can drink, and then when you start doing this, uh, it's been like almost a year for me doing this. At first you might get diarrhea, you might even get constipated because it's actually grasping and utilizing the water in your system and putting it into the cells. And vegans are so dehydrated, they don't even know that they're not getting how dehydrated they are. So I got that, I guess, on Amazon, which is about, I don't know where else you could get it anyway, so I don't know. And now if I need it again, I don't even know where I can have it sent to, unless, if I'm in one place for a while, then I could send it there, but I'm always on the move. Right now I'm kind of like stuck here in Washington, and I want to go south because it's starting to get really cold, but I'm not sure where I want to go yet. So I thought I was going to be hooking up with this girl I know that is the girl I talked about in the other video, but I haven't been able to coordinate with her, and it seems like here goes the universe again, stopping me from communicating with people. It's getting ridiculous. I mean, I'm having a conversation with her and the phone stopped. Now maybe her phone died or something. I don't know what's happening. And and then when she was having a live stream the other night, last week or whenever it was, her live stream went down while I was trying to talk to, right in the middle of talking to her, trying to figure something out. Her live stream went down, just like my live streams go down. It goes, like, I've had a couple go down like 15, 20 minutes into the video. It just, bye. So, I mean, that could happen at any point, so it might. So I don't know who we got here, but thanks for the thumbs up. And if there's anything you just want to talk about specifically, it's just an open thing to whatever we can want to bounce around, any ideas and stuff like that. So I don't know if you just want to listen to me always talking about food, because I'm always researching that, and I just know how toxic the food system is, how they've weaponized it. And I mean, maybe this alone can get the damn thing taken down. I don't know. I'm not giving anybody advice. I'm just telling you what I do. And I've been doing a lot of this stuff my whole life. The whole avoidance thing. I think I'd like to talk about that. How this light might go out and I'll be in the dark all of a sudden. Let me try doing it this way. Okay. So, I'm just, look at me, I'm in my jammies. In my cat jammies. See my jammies? My kitty cat jammies. This is a girl's, like a girl's pajamas. But I'm gaining some weight. I gotta lose, like, I could have probably afforded to lose 10 pounds, but I'm not really trying to, but I don't like being too heavy or whatever, but I'm kind of wanting to keep some of it on me because it's getting cold, and if I get too thin, I get cold real easily, so if I start losing weight, then I might start, getting too cold. But I don't know, I just have to quit eating so much different food. I'm really strict with my diet. So I just got some ground chicken from the farmer's market. I won't buy it from the store. So I got some of that to cook up, and I don't know if you saw my video that I did a couple days ago where I made, I had some duck breasts, and I sauteed them up in the pan, and I cooked them in duck fat that I had, and and I made gravy like from the sauce of it and everything, and I didn't add any kind of wheat or any, because I'm quitting the bread. I'm pretty much almost, I don't eat bread anymore. I mean, I had a couple bites here and there, but I'm like pretty much off of it. And that's like the hardest thing to quit is bread. I love my bread. I love it. I mean, I usually like good breads. I used to make my own sourdough bread, and that's all I would buy. And there's like a little local bakery right down the street from where I am, and they make the best bread, and I go right up and buy it from the side door like I'm doing a drug deal or something. It's so funny, but it's so good. Oh my God, it's just so good. And it is sourdough, and it's like an old family sourdough recipe that they've had. I think she said it was 40 years or something. They've had the same sourdough on and on the culture. So that's the way I am. I would love to be able to, like I used to be like that. I have kombucha going. I'm doing everything just like scratch and old-fashioned type, the way people used to cook. I don't know how to do canning, and but I don't even know what I would can, because I don't even really eat vegetables anymore. I mean, occasionally do. I'm not super strict on it, but I just know vegetables are not really good for us because of all the cellulose and the fiber. That fiber is a big lie. It's just a big lie. And so we don't need that. And the starch, that's what in the Bible is the forbidden food. And I'm not a Bible thumper. I don't read the Bible or profess to know the Bible, but I just know that that's in the Bible, saying that. That's what Darko Velcek, he talks about that and the vegan diet and all that. And he's a doctor, he's a veterinarian, and he tore up all his medical licenses because he said, after all school and everything, he says it is just a license to kill. That's what the medical license. So, and I keep forgetting. I gotta send him I'll give him a shout out. His name is Darko Velcek, Velcek. He's in Peru, and he knows the anatomy in the body and the functionings and all the different organs and the different processes of the body and stuff like that. So and he knows about the whole vegan thing. So he's a good person to listen to if you want to go check him out. But he hasn't been on lately, so I have to send him an email or check in with him and see if he's okay, because I don't know. He's probably heavily targeted because of the stuff he's saying, because he is a doctor. And I don't claim to be a doctor, but I know a lot of, oops, sorry. I knew that was going to go off. Just because I've been following things like my whole life, I knew things to avoid, like the fluoride and the margarine, and just, oh my God, there's so many things, like the LED lights. I knew not to move away from those things, and I've been collecting incandescent bulbs at thrift stores wherever I can find them. I have a whole stock of them, and now they're in a storage unit, and I might have to get rid of this storage unit, or at least cut it way, way back down to like a closet full of stuff. But I had a 3-bedroom place, and I have like thousands of dollars worth of good quality things. So if anybody needs something that I might have, like, you could let me know, and you pay the postage for it. If you want to give me something for it, you can. You don't have to, but at least pay the postage and I'll send it to you. I have like even antiques and collectibles, but I have stuff like Vitamixes. I got Pilates machines. I got all these like health type things. Just like all kind of gadgets and gizmos and this. I just have a lot of stuff, and I need to get rid of it because my daughter is paying for the storage, and she can't keep paying $100 and whatever it is a month for storing my stuff. I mean, we got rid of a lot of things, like the big thing, like the what do you call it? The appliances, washers and dryers, and all those kind of things. And man, I still have like the beds, but that'd be a fortune to mail those. I have these, they're like $2,000 each set. And there's 2 of them. They're beds, and they're made out of latex foam. There's no springs, no metal in it or nothing. And I put the bed on an incline. There's a video, if anybody watches Danny Mindley. He has videos in French and in English, and he talks about a lot of interesting things. And he was just talking about the LED lights and how it's a very interesting, I might even, maybe I'll pin that video to this. I don't know how to do all these fancy things. I mean, my stuff is all raw and uncensored. I don't do anything with them. I don't know. I'm a tech tart. I don't know how to use all these editing different things and stuff like that to edit a video or spice things in or whatever. So I wish I had somebody to help me with that, because I wanted to start having interviews with people, like, call it chat with cat type little things. And I have a few people in mind that I want to start talking with, and because I can't talk with everybody about the stuff I want to talk about, because most people can't even accept what I'm talking about, or don't even know what I'm talking about, and then you get into the normies who don't even want to know what you're talking about. And so anyhow, that's that. So the other thing I was going to talk about was, I don't know, what do we have here tonight? How many women do we have here? Does anybody, I mean, not to exclude men, but I don't know if men would be as interested in the women's movement. The I don't know if anybody knows Kellie-Jay Keem is her name, and her name is Posie Parker. She's from the UK, and she's here in the United States right now. Does anyone know her? So I actually went. That's where I'm coming back from. I went to one of the rallies she did in Tacoma. She originally was going to have it in. I mean, they call themselves TERFs and stuff like that, and I don't align with any of that political shit or nothing, or any kind of religion or anything. But she set up all these, you know, because she's fighting for women's rights and to protect the children, and they're very anti-trans. And you can guess who all showed up at the rallies is all these trans people right in your face, just screaming. You know, they kept screaming, trans women are women, trans women are women. Oh my God. And then she was just in, before that she went to Portland. She had to leave Portland because it was so bad, of all places for her to go. I warned her, and other people warned her to not go to Portland because Portland's a hellhole. And what happened there was they got ran out pretty much, I think. But, you know, all the Antifa showed up, and the cops said that, she says, what about our free speech rights? And they go, well, you're free to, you can have your free speech, but we're not going to protect you. That's what the cops told her. So it got so violent or something, she just ended up leaving. And then she was going to go to Seattle, which a couple of us told her, you don't want to go to Seattle either. That's not much better. I mean, it's probably not as bad as Portland, but it probably would have been, because they got the Antifa there. And they're the fascists. It's ridiculous how these people act. So they had the Antifa people were there to defend the trans people who were being obnoxious. And it was just, oh my God, it was awful, the stress she was under. So, and then I was with her there, and then I went to the after party and I hung with her there for a while. She was doing interviews because she's doing a documentary. She's actually, and so the way these people were behaving actually gave her more, more to prove her point, how they are. They were acting out and just, they were, making the point for her just by their actions. So, anyway, so then she went to Austin, and it looked like I think she had some security there. I don't know. I saw that it had police there, but it said police on their uniforms. So I don't know if the police were there to help her, it looked like, and they were walking around. So I don't think you can actually pay the police to do this. And because people were telling them to get, like the Hells Angels, bikers, or the good old guys or whatever that will come in, I guess for a fee, will come and be your security. But people were literally getting hurt. Nobody hurt me, but there was a girl, her hand got mangled. Somebody grabbed her hand with her new phone and threw the phone. Her phone got broke. And her hand was all like, oh man, so I gave her a little treatment on her hand, and she was in a lot of pain from that. So, and they threatened a girl. This was when I was there, and I saw this and heard this. They spit in a girl's face, and another girl was there with her baby, and they threatened to kick the girl's ass and the baby too. They threatened they were going to attack the baby. So when it started getting to that point, then I think Kelly made the call to leave and get out of there because it was getting so violent. This is when I was there, and I personally saw all this stuff. So it's too bad that, you can't have free speech. So then she went to Austin, and I don't know. It was pretty uneventful, I think, there. I don't know all the details of that. And then today she was in Chicago, and it looked like it was another Portland type place. You know, these big cities are all like that. They have all the degraded people there. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're herding all these people into the cities, and they're just, all the crazies are, you know, the closer to the downtown core they are. Because I saw what it's like in Seattle, and I really feel that something crazy is going to go down in Seattle. I mean, I don't know when, but it just feels like something's going to happen in Seattle. And I think part of the reason is because it's got the Space Needle, and it's like it's somehow associated with Elvis, who got the first vaccine back in 1956 or 58. I don't know, but it was like in the 50s. He got punctured on national television, and then everybody else had it, you know, like he was setting the stage for everybody else to go get it. And and then we had those little sugar cube things. I forget what was on that. I don't know if that was the polio vaccine, or I'm gonna have to research that a little more, because I have not had that many vaccines in my life, so I don't know if that's helping me now. But the one vaccine that I feel like I can attribute something about my condition to would have been, because I had fibromyalgia for the longest time, and it seems like I'm working out of it, but I have all these other issues from the frequencies and getting me and stuff. But I think I associated the timing of it with getting a Hep B shot. So I'm trying to do a little poll to get people to tell me. I just met a guy, and he wouldn't talk to me about it because he told me when he was such and such an age, and I'm gonna have to figure out the math, because he told me this when he was a certain age, and it was like, you know, X amount of years ago. He got fibromyalgia, and when I asked him, did you have a Hep B shot, he says, I don't want to talk about this. So that made me think he did have it or something, but for whatever reason, he did not want to talk about it. So he probably would have been someone good. So anybody that has fibromyalgia, please leave a comment, because I am like sort of doing this research and trying to make a connection here. So if I poll people and ask them if they're willing to, you know, volunteer their information, then we could, you know, if like everybody does all their little parts and everything, we can flip this fucking shit around. Like, you know, because it's up to us to do it. Nobody's gonna come and save us. Ain't nobody coming down from the sky. Ain't no, you know, Trump ain't gonna save nobody. Jesus ain't gonna save anybody. We have to do this ourselves. We have to figure out a way how to overcome this, whatever it is that they're doing. And a lot of people don't even recognize anything's going on. So it's hard to get a lot of people on board, but there's still some of us who do have our instincts and our intuition and our sense of, you know, self and preservation and empathy and compassion for humankind, that want to try to do whatever we can to, like, try to work together, you know, like a think tank or something, so we can somehow get organized or whatever. I mean, it doesn't seem like these protests and all that are going very far. They don't seem to get anything accomplished. And so it's like we have to take our life into our own hands and just be responsible and just go inside and ask for answers, and not look for external sources to solve these things for us, so we can move forward and try to make this a better world. And I believe that the light forces have won, but they need our power and numbers to do whatever it is we got to do to stop this crazy shit that's going on. And for me, the biggest thing is the pedophilia of the children. I'm gonna have to find different code words or something to use. I don't know what to how far they're, how much. I don't want to just have to take every video down, but then I take the chance of a screw tube coming in and taking it down. So, and I'm not sure what they have me pinned for. I know the one thing is the medical misinformation they're trying to say. Meanwhile, the medical mediums out there giving everybody blatant misinformation and disinformation. He's pushing those vegetables. He's pushing that celery. He's pushing all that fiber and shit that ain't good for us. All the vegetables that we can't digest. That we can't, they're cellulose. And he pushes the starches and the nightshade plants and the oxalates. He's pushing all the stuff that is not good for us. He can do that. What gives him, he don't have a doctor's license or anything. What gives him the right? Him and his spirit of compassion that he's using the people to hook them in with this emotional, getting them baited in there. He uses that, and everybody's like, oh yes, it's the spirit of compassion is going to save us. Everyone's looking for a savior. I read that guy's books and stuff like that, and what he's doing now, he is literally pushing the evil New World agenda, veganism, and all that. So I'm going to say that because that's how I feel. And I have read his books. I know where he's coming from. I know how he thinks. I'm a medical medium, but I ain't the kind of medical medium he is. What he is pushing that label. I don't even want to call myself that because I don't want to be associated with him or her. It looks like it could be even a her. It's very small. And then the I'm not going to say that. I'm not making that claim. I just look at people differently now because of all this inversion and everything going on. And it's like they got so many people out to dupe everybody and get them on board with this sick agenda. I'm going to switch this off because that's going to go out. I have to keep switching these lights because they only stay on for a certain time, and I don't know, it might run my battery down. I hope not. I don't know if that comes on if the car is off. There's a light up there. So I just had a new battery put in here. Man, this car is like costing me a fortune with all these damn things that keep going wrong with it. It should be in pretty good shape by now, and it feels like, I don't know if the transmission is slipping, but allegedly he put in a new transmission, so it can't be going bad already. I don't know does anybody know if there's any other situation or condition that feels, because it's like, like going back, I don't know if that's the engine slipping or if it's doing something else. When my daughter drove the car, it didn't happen to her, or she didn't notice it anyway, so I just hope that that's not the case, because it's supposed to be a new transmission in there. God, the guy's such a liar. God. Oh wow, I put way too much salt in there. It wasn't that I put too much salt in it, it's just that it was only a half a thing of water, and I put in as much as I put for the whole thing, so now it's super salty. Wow. But I like it. It's easier to go down than regular water. I can't even drink cold water. It hurts my stomach. And without the salt in it, I don't want to drink as much. It's like hard on my stomach. So then I don't want to drink it. But the salt, it seems like I wonder if it's actually softening the water. I guess it is, right? When they do, I have to look that up. What do water softeners do? Are they made out of some type of a salt? Like a sodium or something? Does anybody know what did they use to make water softeners, or what did they use to soften the water? I kind of knew what it was, but I can't think of it. I think it's some type of salt, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Does anybody know what kind of, if it's a chemical or something they put in there? I don't know. I always try to avoid a lot of stuff. I avoided air conditioning. Um, I don't know if everybody knows about the LED blue lights things. They're friggin', they are in street lights. They're in car headlights. They're in, your regular bulbs at the store that you put in your light. They're in businesses. They're in hospitals. Almost anything that has a light anymore is LED. And if you knew about the LED, look it up, research it, and see. I don't know what these lights are in here. They look kind of yellow. Some of the little accessory lights are still incandescent. So I don't know what these are, but they don't seem that blue to me. But when I'm like driving down the road, the freeway and stuff, and all these lights are hitting me, I mean, it's hard enough with the lights, and then I get these blue lights just hit me so hard. I have to literally turn my head to drive so I don't look into those lights. So I'm driving part of the time without looking. So, and I have those yellow glasses, but they make it too dark at night. So I don't know what can I wear at night to drive. Is there special glasses that they have that are, knock out the blue beam thing? If anybody knows, you could put that in the comments too. Because I forget some of these things, and then I have to look them up, and then I forget what I was going to look up. So, I don't know, I don't know where everybody is. Are there like weather anomalies happening where you guys are? You can say where you are if you want. I'm still in Washington. It's raining like crazy, and the wind is so wicked. It's like making the trees all like bend over so far, and I don't know. It's just, and now people are talking about there's supposed to be tsunamis, and then they had the tsunami alarm go off, like a test, up here, I think, in Birch Bay. And, so it's like they're getting ready to pull some kind of weather phenomena again. Send up another hurricane, another volcano is supposed to go off in Hawaii. And both coasts have tsunami warnings, I think. So look at all this weatherization. I gotta find different words. I gotta figure out a hobo code or something. And I don't know that I necessarily want to go to these other platforms, because I think they're eventually gonna either be the same thing or something's, some of them might be owned by the other ones, and they know that, just like this whole PayPal thing that's going on or whatever's happening there. And with all the money situation and people thinking that this crypto is so good and everything. I don't know that much about it, but my gut tells me that's like a no-go. Just the name of it sort of just kind of would give you a clue that it's evil, wouldn't it? Look at all these evil they just, even simple stuff like sodas or drinks, they call Monster. And then if you research the ingredients, it's evil, monstrous, it's awful. People don't realize how bad it is. It's even, most of the time it's on the labels, but I'm starting to see some of the things even that I thought were still good, they're slipping in the natural flavoring that was never in these products. I don't know, what it is they're putting in there. I don't know if they're just putting that on the label just for nothing, but it seems like they're hiding something. So, and if anybody here did watch Soylent Green back, it was from the 80s. Not everybody would have watched it necessarily in the 80s, but it was put out in the 80s. And the movie itself was set in the year 2022. So here we are, 2022, and now they're slipping this natural flavoring in that some people are saying is like aborted fetal cells, and who knows what other like human type factors are going into that, because they want to turn people into cannibals. And then people have been, ah, I don't know, you don't want to get me started on that, man, because I know people are like hating me for some of the things I'm saying, because then they have to do something about it. Like, people don't want to quit their addictions, but I don't want to support their addictions either. If they're ignorant of it, I can at least give them, what I know, and educate them, and then they could do whatever they want with their own temple. But the whole food system, in my view, in my opinion, I think that at least, the very least, 80% of the food is toxic, and it says it right on the label. There are all these, not just the natural flavoring, which is probably, to me, is where I draw the line. I won't eat, stuff that has that in there. That's where I just, nope. And it's in 8 out of 10 products, at least. If you go in the supermarket, start looking at, just grab random things, even if you're not going to buy them, just look at them and read them. You're going to find natural flavoring in 8 out of 10 things. And it's now they're starting to slip it into things that didn't have it in there before, that I allowed myself to eat, and now I can't eat them, And there's other kind of things too. There's all the gums they're putting in, the gallum gum, the cellulose gum, xanthan gum, acacia gum. There could be 3 different gums in one product, and if they should list that as the first ingredient. They should count that all as one, because they're all gums. They just use 3 different kinds so that they put it lower on the list. But that's a lot of gums to be putting in there. Putting gums in, they're putting gums into the whipping cream. So you're not getting straight up cream. They're putting these additives in there. It's sick, man. And some of them are actually putting, oh man, it's just making me mad about that. Because I eat dairy. I don't drink the milk from the store. I try to avoid pasture. I get raw cheese, raw milk. I got my raw milk in here. I do buy yogurt and butter and cream. So that's why I'm mad about the cream. I used to be able to get the raw cream, and then it stopped when I was in Idaho. I was still getting the raw cream at a co-op store, like a little market there, when I was off in Sandpoint doing the Owen Benjamin thing. And then it stopped. Like, it started to spread out. It was going like a week, then you didn't get it, and then 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks turned into 2 months, and then it just stopped altogether. So I can't get raw cream. So, but I still think that it's still good, even though it's pasteurized. It's got a lot of fat in it. So that's how I see it that way. Now, just the plain milk, I don't buy the milk. Definitely not any skim milk or low fat or anything like that. I want the fat. It's just fat is where it's at. Salt and fat, they're the 2 main things you need. And you think about that food pyramid should be this way, because all the, they have the fats as like, you just need sparingly at the top. And that's what you need. In the bottom, they got you need 12 servings of grains a day. That is so unhealthy. You shouldn't have any grains at all. It is GMO'd. The wheat is messed up. and it's in so many things. It is really hard to quit. It's in licorice. It's in, if you read the labels, like most people don't know, the black licorice is basically flour with anise, the flavoring in it, and probably dye and who knows what else. But it's made with flour, and a lot of things are made with flour. And I mean, so there's like your tortillas and your this and your pita bread and your naan. It's like every culture has its own kind of bread. I particularly like sourdough bread, and it probably was maybe the healthiest bread. I ate sourdough rye. I mean, just getting the sourdough culture, I kind of justified it, but now I don't even do that. I stopped it. And I used to make my own bread. Oh my God, it was so good. The house smelled so nice with the bread. Anyways, so when I go, I don't eat out very often, but like I occasionally do, and a lot of times I feel ill after I do, even though I'm trying to make the best choice. I don't ever go to fast food places. I go to slow food, and I try to support like the little mom and pop places that do all their own little cooking and make their own little sauces. And I especially like the Greek restaurants that make their own beef and lamb and the gyros. I call them gyros, gyro sandwiches and stuff like that. So I go there and I order just the meat. Can I get a hero sandwich, or gyro, however you say it, gyro sandwich, with no bread, no tomatoes, no nothing. And he said, okay. And I get it for like half the price, for like $5. This last place gave it to me for $5. It was really good. And then they give me the tzatziki sauce, which is basically yogurt with all the spices and salt, a little bit of lemon juice, and it had dill, and what's usually in it, dill, and mint. So it was really, in cucumber. So that was really good little meal there. It was so filling. I could hardly eat it all. For $5, I ate like a king. I mean, it's all I needed. I don't need it. It's not really good to eat a whole bunch of different foods together. You should eat 5 or less foods at once. If you eat a bunch, your system is overloaded. The enzymes, you need different enzymes to break down different things, and they're all running all over different places trying to get to what they need to get to, and you're just putting in more and more and more on top of it. You should just eat very, very simply. Sort of, I would think like the Japanese might sort of do that, but they eat a lot of rice, I think, and a lot of some vegetables and stuff like that I wouldn't eat. But I like their simplicity. So I just try to eat as simple as possible. And I just once in a while want a warm meal like meat. And I don't eat very much. And it's always under $10. So I can't afford to eat eat out. It's just too expensive for my budget. All my money goes to gas. Damn it. It cost me over $100 just to go to Tacoma, which is in Washington. It's not all that far away. I mean, it's a couple hours, whatever. But it cost me over $100 to go do the Posie Parker rally thing there with them a couple days ago. So on her channel, I might post it under mine. I might put a pin, maybe I'll pin a copy, share her video that she made under my video, under a pinned comment or something. So you guys can see what was going on, at least at the one I was at. And I just heard other stories about other things. And there was a lady in Port Townsend. You see that I did videos in Port Townsend. I did a couple videos because I was showing, I used to live there. And I also got asked to be, I got on to be extra in the movie with J-Lo. And so I know the town, and like I say, it's like an artsy fartsy town. It's really snooty. It's money, and I couldn't believe it when I heard what happened there. And people went in to support this 80-year-old lady at the YMCA. These YMCAs are getting fucked up, man. It's just pissing me off that they're all Black Lives Matters and all the fucking tranny rainbows and shit everywhere. And then I even got discriminated against there, but I won't even go into that. I want to talk about this lady. This 80-year-old lady was at the Y in Port Townsend, which is not, it's a tiny little town. It's not a big city. Like, you know, I would expect this maybe in Seattle or somewhere, but not in Port Townsend. She was in the ladies' dressing room, changing, and then she hears, you know, she's showering or doing whatever. She hears a guy's voice in the ladies' room, in the ladies' locker room. She comes out and finds this fucking pedophile touching up the young girls that were in there. So she reports him. Guess who got thrown out? And it was her. The 80-year-old lady got banned from all the Ys in the whole country because she tried to protect the girls from this friggin' pedophile. Turns out he worked there, and they banned her. This is what's going on in our country now. And so the women from Posie's group, I don't know, went to support her somehow. I don't know the whole. I wasn't there, but I was so surprised that it happened in Port Townsend. I mean, I know it's happening everywhere. It could be anywhere, but Port Townsend just seemed like the last place it would be. I mean, it's been a while since I lived in Port Townsend, and I was just there on my way, you know, coming back to Washington. I stayed there for a couple, well, I wasn't there that long. I actually went down to visit my friend down in Port Angeles, and then I stopped there, you know, coming and going on the way down to Port Angeles, and then on the way back. So, and I did a couple videos that are up on my channel showing like this really old building where I used to live in that was built in the 1800s, and had a little studio in there. But you weren't supposed to really be living in there, so they kind of found out. Leave, but it was kind of fun while I was there. And they got a really cool little theater where they have all these like old odd movies that you don't see everywhere, like, you know, cult movies maybe. I guess it could be, some of them could be considered. So anywho, I hope everyone is doing well. And I don't know where I'm going next, but I'm still going to be talking to Becky Jean, you know, the girl that she's going to all these different places, and I didn't realize that she's going back east, and I need to go south, and she's going to go south later, but not until like January, and then I would be coming back then, because then that's when my daughter is due to have her baby in late January, or maybe early February. I don't know when exactly, but I think she said that. So I probably will leave for maybe 2 months and come back when she's ready to have the baby. But I can't even get into Canada because I'm banned. I'm Banada. I'm a felon, don't you know? In Canada, I'm a felon because I got a bullshit DUI charge here, and I don't even drink. You see what I drink? I drink water. I don't even remember the last time I had a drink. I don't. I have some. I've had a bottle of, what do you call it, brandy, cognac, for like the longest time that I bought at Costco. It's really good, but I use it medicinally, and I still have at least half the bottle, and I have a little bit that I'm in the storage unit, and I have a little bit in here still that I should just use up. I've had it for a year. I haven't drank it. So actually, I know when I had some but it's not really drinking. It was just, it's like this person that I met, a guy that makes his own like fruit wines, which are really good. He's in Texas. And he let me stay at his place when I was down there for a few days, because last year when that ice storm hit, it went from Texas to Tennessee or something, and it was like freak weather. It doesn't snow and have ice that thick in Texas. Come on. So a good thing he gave me a place to, because it was down into the teens, and it was supposed to be like that for like days. And he says, "How are you going to be in your car? You're going to freeze." He says, "Come," you know, he was married and he wasn't hitting on me or anything. He was just a nice guy giving me a place to stay. It was a really nice place too. He had like sampling rooms and everything where he took his clients in, because he makes this wine. It's really good. He gave me some, and I think it's only like 5% alcohol. So that's probably the last time I drank, when I was in Texas, which was, I don't even oh God, it was probably a year ago, almost. I think, yeah, something like that. Because I went to Texas first, then I went down I went through, actually, which way did I go? I don't know. I went the other way. And then I went through Tennessee, Georgia, Texas, Florida. I even went down into Mexico. And then I left Florida after I stayed there for a couple months, 3 months. I don't know how long I was there, quite a while. Where Ariel is. And I went to Alabama. That's where he was supposed to meet me, in Alabama, but then he wrecked his car and almost killed himself. And but he's okay. He survived it. But he didn't let me take his stitches out, and I'm not letting him off the hook for that, because I treated his boo-boo and everything. And he was going to go back to the hospital and let the doctors cut it out. Says, "You don't need to go to no hospital. I will take him out." And I cared for that, and I put essential oils on it, and I treated it, and I put iodine and did all this stuff. I was like his little nurse, taking care of his cut on his leg. I don't know how he cut it, but he had a big, huge thing, and he had to get stitches. And then we were waiting for it to heal up, and then to the point, and then when it was ready for the stitches to come out, we said, "Okay, we'll do them tomorrow." And he took them out. Isn't that unfair? I nursed it and did all that for him, and then he wouldn't let me have the experience of taking stitches out, because I'm going to be like a doctor of the future. For people that don't want to go to these doctors or hospitals, I will never go to a doctor or hospital again. Not with what I know now. I won't. And I suggest people don't put their parents in no nursing home either. Red room. Both of them. Hospital, nursing homes. It's just a step away from the funeral, what do they call them now? They used to be funeral parlors, but what do they call them? Who knows what goes on in these places? This is probably where they got their whole, organ harvesting. Who knows? Like, what do they do with all this stuff in the hospitals, with all the afterbirths, that they don't bleed through into the baby, that they save all that blood to give it to somebody else instead of the baby that it's supposed to go to? At least my daughter knows that much. She's got this worked out with her midwife to not clamp her off too soon, but the midwife probably knows that. Midwives aren't like they are in the hospital. That was the biggest regret of my life, was having to go to the hospital when I was trying to have a home birth, because what they do in those hospitals, you don't even want to know. And how they mutilate the boys right off the bat. They're traumatized. I mean, all the babies are traumatized by what they do. They're pricking them and smacking them and slapping them and sticking shit in them and they fucking gave my daughter an antibiotic, and I did not give them permission to. And they had no reason to do it. They just said, just in case. Just in case. And they didn't ask me. And then she had thrush her whole life, and she had acne and everything, because it set her up for that. So anybody that's thinking about having a baby, consider having it at home. You do not want to go to those hospitals. I mean, there's so many things in hindsight that I wish I had done differently. They didn't let me hold her. They just showed her to me and took her away. And I was all like delirious. I mean, I just had major surgery. They had to do C-section on me. That's how I ended up in there, because I was having it at home. I had 2 midwives. Midwives paid off and everything. And then we ended up having to go to a different hospital in Fullerton. Even though I lived in Newport Beach, the midwife says, you don't want to go to that hospital. They'll like just abuse you and everything there. Because I was having a midwife and having it at home, and they would have just, so she knew a doctor that had it lined up, but I really don't know everything that went down, because why did the doctor just did his job, and then the rest of them just do whatever they want, like she's like a little pincushion or some shit. I don't know. It was just horrendous. And just that they made me wait so long, because you can't get those moments back. You want your baby to bond. At least, I mean, I bonded well with my daughter and everything. We have a pretty close relationship. I don't know how long it's going to last, because she got jabbed already. And I hope it doesn't affect the baby. I hope the baby's not autistic or anything like that. We think it's a boy, just energy-wise. That's what we both felt separately. But we don't know. So anyway, I hope. But then I was listening. I don't know if anybody knows Janice What's her last name? Barla. Oh, I can't think of her. I don't want to say it because I'm going to slaughter it. I can't think of it. But anyway, she talks about this, in the circumcisions of the boys and all that kind of stuff. She says that in the statistics, I guess, say, I don't know this, I didn't find this out on my end, but she says that if you have a C-section, the chances of your daughter having a C-section is very strong. Like, my daughter could end up having a C-section, because that's how she was. I don't know if that's true, but that's what she said, and I don't think she would lie. But the statistics are saying that. So, and if you have a baby, please don't circumcise them. Please don't mutilate them or traumatize them. Have them at home. Homeschool them. Don't send them into the system. Do as much as you can to keep them, from getting indoctrinated. I don't know. My daughter was doing good, and then when her dad and I, were splitting up, and then he got custody of her, and he put her because I had her into a French immersion from, classes. She learned everything in French. I mean, everything. Math, everything she learned, computers, everything in French. So then she did that from kindergarten till 6th grade. And then after that, she ended up with her dad, and she went into the public school system and whatever, I don't know. And I guess that's where she got indoctrinated, and all the things that I taught her are like, whew. I mean, maybe some things are still there. I hope some things are still there, but there's a lot of things, and I just was so sad. I just talked to her a couple nights ago that it's like, you trust the system more than your own mother. And I don't know, it's just awkward. Let me see, somebody saying something here. Okay, see, hi, we got Mo and Tiny and Liquid. Hi, how's everybody? Huh? Shit, how do I get this to stay on? Oh yeah, I would love a foot massage. I don't know about iced tea. I don't really drink iced drinks at all, because I don't like cold on my stomach. I think it makes it want to condense and tighten up, and it's not natural. I mean, what I try to do now is think about what it was like before we had any kind of machines or things, like even cooking or anything. Just like, imagine that we were just first put out into the forest or the desert, or just somewhere where you don't have anything. Like, and you got to cook, or you got to make your own fire. Um, what do you say? Um, like, and what, how, like, okay, I don't know if anybody here, and it is really hard to find people that I can talk to about the Ringing Cedars, because Americans don't read it. Um, yeah, I'm sorry. She took it too. She took it twice, but she says she's not gotten any boosters, and I don't think she's going to. Because I just been like kind of harping on her and saying things like, I haven't, I haven't really pushed the autism thing, but I believe that that's a possibility that could happen. So if the baby is autistic, I would say it's from getting the jabs. But I think that they're using the jabs mostly like to knock off the old people and the young babies. So I'm saying I'm trying to keep her from going into the hospital. She has a midwife, or, because in Canada, they pay for the midwives, not like here. What did you say, Ritani? I don't know what you're asking about. If somebody saw your comment, I don't know what you said. Oh, you just want to know if you're being seen? Yeah, you're showing up. Because that's starting to happen to me. I just had somebody, like day before yesterday, tell me that, like, I was in a live chat, and one of the mods knew me. I don't know if she's a sub or just from another channel in a live chat or whatever, but I recognized her. And she goes, Kat, you're being shadow banned. As a moderator, she was telling me this. She says, I have to manually approve every one of your comments, every single one. And I don't know where this is all happening, but this was in a live chat, and it wasn't in one that I'm like in all the time. Like I don't know who it was, but and I don't know that I wasn't saying anything that the channel wouldn't approve of. So she said it was like YouTube doing it. It wasn't the person whose channel it was. So let me see. Oh man, this sucks. Yeah, so that's how I am. So I have to ask a lot of times, because sometimes I've been in there and I realize that I can't be seen. Like if I ask somebody specifically a question or something like that, and then I realize nobody's seeing any of my comments or my questions or anything. So now I don't know if if I'm being ignored or being shadow banned or whatever, but I know the type of comments that I'm leaving are actually the kind of things that do get censored. And it's not, I do chat up with people a little bit, but it's usually about information, not so much like entertainment, or talking. Like, I can't go on like people's channels like Sloan. I like Sloan Bella, but they're all talking about nails and brassieres. I don't even wear brassiere. I haven't worn one in like 30, no, not quite 30, about 25 years. I quit wearing them. And they're talking about makeup. You see it, I don't wear makeup. I'm totally natural. I have no tats at all. And if anybody's getting these tattoos, you better check them out, because they are maybe not the older ones, but the newer ones now, who you don't know what's in the ink, and now they're saying that it can hook you up to your phone. That was another thing I felt like. Another avoidance thing was not getting these tats. My daughter and I at one point were going to get sort of not necessarily matching ones, but like complimenting ones, something that was personal to us, and I never did it. And then my daughter went off and just got all these tats. she just she just thinks it's cool, and she doesn't even realize what she's doing to herself. So it's, as a mother, it's hard to watch your child like do this kind of things to themselves when you can't, you have no say so. You know, they're adults. Although I believe you're not truly an adult until you're like around 40, because then you've had some life experiences, and you've been through, you know, a lot of things. So she still has a little bit of maturing to do, but she's pretty mature for, she's like 31. So, and she's gonna have her baby in January. So I'll be a grandma for the first time. What? Why would he be talking about me? I have nothing to do with those guys. I don't know, what does he say? Why would he trash talk me? I don't even talk to him. I'm not in those circles at all. The only I do, what's his name? Johnny. That's about, Johnny Arcade is about the only one I can think of that I am sub to. That, I don't know, occasionally people tell me stuff about Owen, or Owen actually says something about me. I don't even have anything to do with Owen, other than now I'm trying to figure, because people are telling me, these transvestigators are telling me that he's a woman. But Johnny Arcade says that he believes that he has the oh my god, I gotta remember this word again. What is it called? The kilter shit. It's a syndrome or something like that, where they grow real tall or whatever. So I'm trying to maybe figure that out, and the whole Hollywood connection, because people are going crazy over this whole flipped inverted thing, and I think it has, because it's so widespread. It's like every person in Hollywood's a tranny. It just seems so, something is happening, I think, to people's consciousness, that maybe we're seeing them this way or something. It's really bizarre. And it seems like it's somehow connected to the Mandela effect. So I don't know if anybody, oh, is it staying up? So you think that, so you thinking, saying that Mercer's trans? I don't know what to make of all this, but it was crazy being at that rally when I was with Posie Parker. Okay, I need to read this. I'm interested in the frequency stuff. Use bamboo to mitigate the frequencies? Is that what you're saying? Or even rubber based? Yeah, like, yeah, I know. That's why it sucks that I have to be in my car with all this metal springs and everything. Because like I was saying before, I have beds that are made out of just organic. What is it called? Organic latex. And they're so comfortable. They had no metal in it at all. Yeah, I know. Really. Yeah. I haven't been watching their show or anything. I'll have to take a closer look at them, because I'm pretty good at anatomy because I'm a massage therapist. And we had to study anatomy. We had to study everything about the whole body, every system of the body except the reproductive system. We had to know the muscles, the bones, the nervous system, the blood, every system of the body except reproductive system. And then I'm a teacher of cosmetology, so I had to learn it really more to be able to teach it, even though I never taught it like per se. And then but then also I'm an artist, and I studied in college. I studied anatomy for artists. So I took even more anatomy as an artist to draw bodies. So I drew new bodies, and I massaged new bodies. So I kind of know bodies. And then as a hairstylist, you're always looking at the ears and the hairline and everything. So I knew all this just from all the experience. I mean, I did hair for like over 50 years, hair massage and hair. So I have a lot of experience. I don't know if anyone's here from Michelle's channel, and I don't know what it is she actually does. She won't tell us. It's driving me crazy. But it's something, Michelle XX, that she does the transvestigations, or she used to. I think she stopped doing them. Yeah, I'm going to look. I don't know where I would get pictures of them, but I guess you just... are you talking about Owen right now? Who to look at? Are you saying to look at Owen? Because Owen does have very feminine... He's got sort of soy boy hands that I thought were soy boy because they're all puffy and soft. They don't look like man's hands. Nor does his feet. Because he also, I'm very, very observant. I saw him do a video where his feet, like had the camera, he was filming Amy across the room, but his feet were showing, so I got to see his feet. And for as tall as he is, his feet aren't very big. But they're sort of puffy, like blown up. So I don't know if it's from soy or water retention, or if it's subcutaneous fat, if he is a woman. Oh, man. I have to drink this water and there's so much salt in it. But I got something stuck in my throat. I love the sound of the rain, though. It's really nice. And actually, I changed my name to Rain because I love the rain so much. I literally changed my name to it. My last name. I changed my first name and my last name. Oh, okay. Wait, let me see. It keeps going off, so I have to keep turning it back on. I don't know. I said that, and then what's it called? Klinefelter syndrome is what Johnny Arcade told me that he thinks it is. But then, okay, did anybody see Amy pregnant? I don't know if that really matters. I mean, because I don't know. You know, she might not be switched up too, and she's like really shit. Okay, she's like really tiny. You know, I mean, well, in relation to him, she ain't as tiny as Christina Ricci was, but they say Michelle XX says that Christina Ricci, who is way tiny, that used to be Owen's girlfriend, is a dude. So, and she thinks Owen is a girl. So, I'm gonna just be looking closer before. I don't want to actually, I don't really want to be saying something that's not true. And I don't hate Owen. People think I hate him. I don't hate him at all. I mean, I really liked Owen, but then when he did the shit he did, then I didn't like him anymore. I don't hate him, but I think it was wrong, you know, that he was taking people's money like that and buying that property. I wish I would have went there. Because I ain't afraid of him. He's more afraid of me than I am of him. He ran away from me, literally. He tried to give me money. He tried to pay me off. He goes, what do you want? What do you want? Well, he's trying to he's pulling out his wallet and everything. And then I went to get my wallet out of my pocket. Then he thought I had a gun. Meanwhile, he's like digging in his pocket like he could have had a gun. But like, I'm going to pull a gun on him outside of the fucking post office? Right, yeah, federal post office. I'm going to pull a gun on you. Yeah. I didn't need a gun. He's afraid of me without a gun. I went to get my ID to show him who I was. Here I am, Owen. And he thought I was reaching for a gun. He had his dog in the car with him, George, the dog. And I don't know if you guys, his other dog, he killed his dog. Did you know that he killed his other dog, not George, a different dog? And he's all boo-hooing on film, like he felt so bad. But meanwhile, it was his fault that he killed the dog. Oh, yeah, Sophie, right. That's so sad. And he's like, oh, all these like tears coming out. I think the tears were not because and I think it was because of guilt. He felt like he knew he killed that dog. And it wasn't because he missed the dog or the dog was dead. It was because he fucking killed him. So, all for a latte, right, for Amy. If I wouldn't have went and got that latte. Oh. So did anybody see Amy pregnant? I never saw her. I mean, he was talking about, and did they have a girl? I have a feeling by the way he talked, he had a daughter. He said he has 4 children, and I think if it would have been another boy, he would have said, I have 4 sons. But he said, I have 4 children, so I think his last one was a girl. It is a boy? Oh, no. Another boy. Oh, my God. Yikes. Oh, and poor Charlie. They're not doing anything for Charlie. I don't know if he can if he still talks yet at all. I mean, he was 4 years old and he couldn't even talk. He's probably 5 now. I don't even know if he can still not talk. But he was, at 4 years old, he was going, like he's either autistic or some kind of, it's more than just developmental delay. There's some serious problem there. My daughter could read at 3, and his son was 4.5 and couldn't even talk. So it shows there's a big mess up there. I mean, my daughter was ahead because not everybody can read. Everybody can read at 3. If the parent puts in the time, you need 1,000 hours of lap time. Them sitting, you reading to them, and they look at the book and reading and everything. I was just watching the the chimp, not the chimps, the bonobos. They're like the most like humans. I posted it under my last video of there was like a 4-part series about these bonobos that they were teaching, they learned and everything. It was amazing. They knew English. They could like point it out on the camera. So it's underneath my last video. I don't know if I actually pinned it or not, but I just put it up there so I could show people because I'm really interested in the bonobos. They're crazy to watch. It's like they look so human. So I'm wondering if at some point these are going up, but they're not staying up. Is it? Oh, that's good. He's talking? All right, good for him. But I guess Walter was okay. You know, he seemed pretty intelligent, but I think he was the one that was actually hitting the animals. Because I saw somebody ask that, but I think it was Walter that was actually being abusive towards the animals, and he probably got that from Owen, watching Owen do it. So, I don't know. I thought I saw Amy in the store when I was in Sandpoint. And she's not a very big girl. So I don't know if they're, like a switched up couple or anything like that. But apparently when he was with Nina Ritchie, she's supposed to be a dude. So I don't know. Oh, it's still unintelligible though? Oh, that's too bad. Because he's got to be at least 5 by now. 5.5 maybe even, I don't know. Because when I went there in December of 2020, right after Owen went, Owen went in September, and I went. He bought the place in July. He moved there from Gig Harbor, Washington. He moved there in September, and I went there in December from Birch Bay, Washington, which is like, I don't know how far north from Gig Harbor it is. It's a couple hours away at least. So I was never at Owen's place there, but I think that might have been her family's place. I'm not sure. Because isn't Owen's mom in like New York, right? Where he was born in upstate New York. So was I. Me and Owen have a whole bunch of different similar things about us. So it's just really interesting that we have these correlations, but he would not let me talk to him. You know, the second time I saw him, he was behind me. Like both times, he was there before me, but yet he called me the stalker. If anybody's stalking, it'd be him. He was there before me. No, I was there before him, and then he came. So he was after me. So then he'd be the stalker if somebody was doing any stalking. How would I know when he's going to be there? I mean, I figured it out later that he started his like live streams at like 9:30 or something in the morning. Or yeah, like he'd have to go in and get his mail at 9 o'clock in order, or leave earlier, you know, to be there at 9 o'clock so he could be home to do his live stream. I figured that much out later, but I wasn't like planning it like, oh, Owen should be here any minute now. It was just, I just happened to run into him because we were both going to the same post office, but the whole reason I went to Sandpoint was because of him. So, and his bullshit. Oh no, I just felt like really lied to. And I didn't think it was cool what he did. Not just to me, but to other people. I never gave him a dime. People think I got mad at him and went after him because I gave him $400 or something, and I never gave him any money. You know, I did, at first, I did send him a book that I had pictures and stuff of my daughter gave me that book, but I wanted the book back, and I never got it back. So he could take gifts from everybody, but that wasn't really a gift. That was just say, here, you could be reading this, and then but I want it back. And well, I never got it, of course. I didn't get it. So wow, okay. Oh man, my back has been hurting me. I gotta go to either a chiropractor or a they're like, you know, the Chinese, they do reflexology, you know, all that stuff, and they work on your feet and do their type of massage that they do. It's better than like these wannabe massage therapists that give you 50-minute massages that are like, you don't feel much different when you leave. I don't know, my massages are really long and more involved, and they're more personalized to people, and I use aromatherapy. I use different essential oils depending on what their condition is, and you know, stuff like that. So it's just a total different type of experience. It's not your run-of-the-mill thing. I mean, I used to get $160 30 years ago for my treatments. So, and I used to have a bed and breakfast too. I had 2 bed and breakfasts where people could come and, you know, get the treatments while they're doing the bed and breakfast there. So I like doing that. I would like to do that again. I would like to find some land where I can have my, like a healing center or whatever, you know, where I can do my treatments and maybe have other massage therapists, or, you know, if it grows to the point where I just can bring in more. And the one place that I could have it, that I think I could have it, that I can't, that like not yet anyway, is I have a friend that that's a millionaire, that I used to do. I met him in NA. Can you imagine being a millionaire with money and being a heroin addict at the same time? You just have an endless supply of money. So anyway, I met him at NA, and we became friends. And another guy was a friend. It was like the 3 Musketeers, and I never was with him like in a boyfriend-girlfriend capacity, although he was always hitting on me, trying to get me to be with him, and he even had me come to San Diego to cut his hair. He had me drive like 2.5 hours because he won't let anybody else cut his hair. And he paid me like $250 to come, and this was like a long time ago, so that was like a lot of money. That'd be getting 500 now or more. And and then he had a hooker come, and he wanted to do a threesome or something, but I never did do anything like that with him, thank God. But anyway, I lost contact with him. I mean, he used to have me come over, and I cut his hair, I colored his hair, I did his massage, I did his manicure, I did his pedicure, I was like his little geisha girl, slave, not slave. I mean, he was paying me like $100 an hour. So, anyway, he has, unless he doesn't have it anymore, because I tried to reach him, but I could not reach him. He owns an island in Costa Rica, and it has 5 houses. The last I knew, it had 5 houses on it. So I don't know if there was any more, if he sold it, if he still has it. And I sent something, and I got it back, and I sent something else that I didn't get back. So I don't know if he ever got it or not, but that would be an ideal place to have my healing center, where everything's, already in place. Otherwise I gotta get a piece of land, I gotta build it up myself or whatever, which I would still do, but it'd be nice to have it in Costa Rica. I don't know. I don't even. Well, what part? I don't know if I'm going back to Florida or no. The next time I go south, I think I'm going down through the California, Oregon, and New Mexico, down that side more. I don't know anybody that goes to those. Those Asian part, I don't know. They're open like late at night too, I think, aren't they? I mean, they just go there to get their happy endings, I guess. They care more about that, I think, than the massage. Because if it was about the massage, they wouldn't be going. Well, maybe they could go there because they do good massages. The Asians usually do. Now, I don't know about those kind of massages because I don't do that, and I don't know. I mean, I've had a couple awkward experiences where guys kind of got up off the table when we were done and like kissed me or something. They just felt so, I don't know what happened, but it was never sexual or anything. But I try to make that clear with them before I ever work on them, that I'm a professional, and we won't be having any happy endings here, so forget about it. Don't even think about it. Oh, what's Lakeland, Florida? I don't know where that is. Where's Lakeland? Where's Lakeland? I don't even know where that is. Is that like in Central Florida or more north? I was in Gainesville mostly, except for when I ended up in the fucking St. Augustine jail. For 9 days, I had to go through that. That was so traumatizing. And then they dropped the charges because they were bullshit charges in the first place. They literally pulled me out of my car. I had no shoes on or nothing. They pulled me out of the car. I was sitting on a country road near Tampa. Okay. I didn't go to Tampa. So I'm sleeping in my car on a country road because I went to a dairy farm to get my raw milk, and I'm doing a healthy thing, right? I'm going to get my raw milk. They didn't have any. They said, come back in the morning. So I parked down the road on the country road, and sure enough, the fucking cops come and harass me and end up pulling me out of my car and taking me. And then actually they had 3 charges. I guess they like overcharge you so that maybe one of them will stick, but all of them were dropped, including resisting arrest. They put that down for me. And then they take all my fucking weed or my pipes and everything, because I still do cannabis. And I'm getting a little picky about it now because I'm afraid I don't know if they're going to be, I don't know if anybody has an opinion on this about what might be happening at the dispensaries, if they're, if the weed coming in is actually good weed. Does it have like fucking graphene oxide in it? Is it laced with fentanyl or shit like that? Like, I think I would know that if it did. So I got some when I was in Port Angeles. The guy there knew me. He remembered me as soon as I walked in, and he ran over and got me right away. He knew exactly what I got. Like, and it wasn't necessarily that I was going in there for, but I ended up getting some anyway, which is RSO. There's like this organic place here that it's Skagit Organics, and I know the lady, and I actually got it personally from her. I got it really cheap. She was selling it to me for $9, and it cost $25 in the store. So he gave it to me for $15, I think. So and it's pretty like legal, it's Washington is like, it's almost like mainstream like cigarettes here. It's not a big deal, but like Idaho, I have a warrant in Idaho too, because they pulled the same kind of shit there. I actually was when I first went there, I had a little bit more money, but all my money is gone. But so I stayed at like a Days Inn place, and there was all these fucking meth addicts around there, and they were talking to me and stuff like that, and I didn't know them. I didn't know what they were about or anything. Like, I didn't even realize they were even meth addicts at the time, at first. But just by association, they must have thought that I was or something, and then they started harassing me and stuff like that. And pulling all these, like, fucking things they say to you to try to scare you into ratting yourself out or something. I don't know what their game is, but Idaho is probably the most strict state in the whole country. They don't tolerate it, nothing. So this lady I knew there told me that she talked to her cousin who was a judge, and he says, I can't tell her what to do, but he says, I'm going to tell what I would tell you, or what I would do is just leave the state and just forget about it, because it's like a local warrant and they can't do nothing in the rest of the country. So I guess they can only do it if I'm in Idaho. So I don't really have much desire to go back to Idaho. I mean, it is a beautiful state, but then so is Washington. So I better maybe my battery's dying here on my car, because the light won't go back on. So it's still raining out. So I guess I better, it's been like an hour and a half, so I guess I should just get off. So thank you guys for coming. I don't know, I can't get this light to go back on, but I don't know, Michelle XX, she does hers from without, she never shows her face. I don't know about people that don't want to show their face. So he does what every week? Oh, he goes to the massage parlors every week? But I thought now if he was a woman and like what they call, you're saying he's a trans man? I get confused with all this nonsense. It's just ridiculous. So anyhow, okay, well, I gotta go see if my car is gonna even start up now. I had to get a new battery, and I hope I didn't wear it down already. Just keeping the light on. I don't know if that would make it die, but I don't want to go back on. Okay, well, I guess I'll just shut it down now. It's been long enough, I guess. Thanks, you guys, for coming. Thanks for the thumbs ups and everything. And leave any information under the bottom of the video, and I'll try to remember to put up that other video I said I would put up about the bonobos. They're so cool. I love them. There's like it's an old video, and it's about that lady who was working with them and everything, and then they fired her. They separated her from that, and from her and Kanzi, the bonobo that she was working with, that was learning so much, knew English and everything. And whatever happened, she must have made some kind of connection, and then she got fired. So I don't know what happened. But anyway, it's interesting. It's a 4-part thing. Well, I hope you all guys are doing well and taking good care of yourself. Try not to give in to the addictions. Start maybe like thinking about detoxing and using the salt water to do it. Just your regular water you're drinking every day. I'll close with this. Like, drink, as much of it as you can. It's going to help to hydrate you at a cellular level. Your cells are so, everybody's are just craving for this. Like the hydration level, we should be 80% water. If there people are saying 70% water, well, most people are 70% water because they're dehydrated. So I use distilled water usually. Not lately, it's hard to get now. They're not having this distilled water at the stores. They're doing away with it. You wonder why, right? Must be bad for us, so they have to take it away for our safety. So you put the at least 1.5 teaspoons to a quart or liter of water, and try to drink 3 of those a day. If you're super toxic or you're a really big guy or big person, you will probably want to do more. But just get that going, and that'll start to help to eliminate a lot of stuff, and it carries the toxin out. And eat animal fat as much as you can. And try to eat your meat, like your beef and that, as raw as possible. It's hard for me to do, but I'm trying to do it. So I don't know if I'll ever be able to just bite into a raw steak, but that's my goal. So, and I know that's the best way to go. So I hope you all, remember these things and forget about those vegetables. They are not good for you. Salads, all these people think they're so healthy. They don't even know how dehydrated they are. I'm not even going to go into like this, that, and the other thing, but I will start talking more about the veganism, because this is something that's very evil, and people really don't want to be eating that shit, man. Really. So, all this virtue signaling and all this crap. You could get a vegan or a vegetarian or something like that, and you could call out that, they're carrying a leather wallet or some other thing that, and meanwhile, the plants themselves are way intelligent. Way intelligent. They think that it hurts the plants. Plants have anti-nutrients in it. They do not want you eating them. They're full of cellulose, which is undigestible. And this whole thing with the fiber is a big lie. You do not need fiber. It's like eating cardboard. There's no nutrition in the fiber. So, okay, I'm going to leave you on that. Drink your water. Stay strong. Stay healthy. Stay sovereign. Much love to y'all.